So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to go way back and talk about collecting Star Wars before the internet. Can you believe it? People collected vintage Star Wars figures when they were called modern Star Wars figures or just Star Wars figures. Back before eBay, back before Facebook groups, even back before the news groups in the 90s. How did people collect Star Wars besides just going to the store and buying it? And how did they keep track of what was even out there to buy? I mean, just because a Star Wars item showed up at the Piggly Wiggly in Tupelo, Mississippi, that doesn't mean the same Star Wars toy would show up at the Winn-Dixie in Texarkana. So how did they... There was no official list of Star Wars merchandise. You never knew what you would find when you walked into the store, when it was being released, what was coming next. I mean, there was a few exceptions. Of course, you had ads in the Sears catalog and newspapers, but overall, you just walked into the store, saw something Star Wars, and got it. So how did people collect Star Wars back in the day when Star Wars was new? For many of us that collect the vintage line, we started in the 90s, or maybe later than that, but for a lot of us, we started in the early 90s. We grew up on the toys, and then when we reached adulthood, we went back to buy some of those toys that we had as a kid, and some we always wanted. But these guys were the real pioneers of Star Wars collecting. They were collecting Star Wars when they were new. And I'm not just talking about Rick Springfield. I'm talking about just common everyday people collecting Star Wars. So let's look at how they did this. Again, this is before the internet. Now I know there was news groups at colleges around the internet. I've read some of those, but most people didn't use the internet. And this was back even before Toy Shop. I don't know if you remember Toy Shop in the 90s, but it was the place to go if you were a toy collector, new or old. The bad thing is, most time you had to send them a check or a money order, wait about 6 to 8 weeks, and hope you get what the picture showed. But today we're going to look inside the TKRP. What was the TRKP? Well, let's talk about it. TKRP was not a spin-off to WKRP. It stood for Tom Kennedy Radio Productions. It was kind of an early newsletter about merchandise sent out to other Star Wars fans, ran by Tom Kennedy. One thing this newsletter did was try to classify all the official Star Wars merchandise. As you can see from these pages of the newsletter, they would send out a list to collectors of Star Wars merchandise, so other collectors would know what to get. But inside the TKRP was the Collector's Corner. That's where collectors could post lists of things they wanted to buy, things they wanted to sell, and things they had to trade off. Let's take a look inside at some of those posts. Someone that used this newsletter a lot to help his collection was Walter Steuben. You may recognize his name, or at least his face. Him and his family were seen before the premiere of Star Wars on network television. In the 80s, he was the go-to guy for collecting Star Wars. He probably had one of the biggest collections out there. Now here's a list of what people are looking for to sell or trade. We have Sam Paris from California. He's looking for sugarless gum cards, ceramic figurines, an R2-D2 AM radio, the number 7 7-Eleven cup, and a tractor beam cereal sticker. And he has some of the sugarless gum cards to trade and a Kenner movie viewer cassette. Steve Sansweep of California says he has Star Wars Empire and Return of the Jedi items to trade from one of the galaxy's largest collections. Yeah, Steven Sansweep. That's Steven Sansweep, who we all know if you're a Star Wars collector. Robert Hager in California says he was looking for large-size action figures, except for C-3PO and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he wants them in the box. Joanne in California was looking for playsets, a Death Star space station, a large action figure of Han Solo, a Jawa, R2-D2, Stormtrooper, and a sketchbook. Richard of Chicago said he was looking for the Burger King Chewbacca glass. He also has for trade a C-3PO and an R2-D2 Burger King glass. Jeremy Adams of Indiana was looking for some foreign items, those not sold in the U.S. He also wanted the large dolls and jewelry, and he says he will apply to everybody. Teresa Taylor of Kentucky wanted the first anniversary poster birthday cake. She's not the only one. I would love to have that also. Wait, she? Teresa Taylor. What a woman. I don't care what you look like. If you want a Star Wars birthday cake surrounded by action figures, you're my kind of gal. Let's see what else we can find inside the Collector's Corner. And here's the ad by Steven Sansweep. He has many items to trade. I'm not going to list them all, but some of them he has is posters. Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, Kenner toys and models, magazines, comics, jewelry, rare Coke and 7-Eleven plastic cups. He says he has extras of the Star Wars sugarless gun wrappers, Empire Strikes Back Spanish gum cards, a drawing board Empire Strikes Back postcard. What does Steven Sansweet want? He needed a few posters to finish out his collection, Star Wars Japanese, Mexican, or other foreign toys, a Star Wars coloring book, a 1978 Kenner catalog, and he'd like to have a set of the Empire Strikes Back cards that came with the puff tissues. I wonder if he's still looking for those Star Wars Kenner comic books. I mean, I can pick them up pretty cheap on eBay. Maybe I can trade him for a rocket-firing Boba Fett. Now let's see what else is inside. Bill Plum, who I don't think is related to Eve Plum, is looking for serious collectors of Star Wars collectibles. He likes toys of all kinds, all countries, paper products like posters, promotional material, props, and any and all foreign outside the U.S. Husband and wife team Mitch and Chris Mitchell also printed out a big ad of their wants and needs. From the Star Wars, they wanted games, pop bags, X-Wing Ace Target game, action figures, small action figures on card, electric toothbrushes. From the original Star Wars, they had things to trade like Burger King glasses, puzzles, Star Wars soap, Topps gum cards, flying rocket model X-Wing, bubble bath. From the Empire Strikes Back, they wanted the die-cast vehicles, action figures in the box, a small Luke and Bespin outfit on card, jewelry, switcheroos, Cloud City playset, Hoth playset with the AT-AT card back. And to trade from the Empire Strikes Back, they had Burger King glasses, a caulkboard, Leia paint by number, Empire Strikes Back party hat and napkins, Micro Collection Millennium Falcon, a Hoth Wampa, Yoda socks, action figures on cards, and lots more. From Return of the Jedi, they wanted an action figure carrying case, Gamorrean Guards, Royal Guard bank, a Hoth turret music box, display items. And some of the things they had to trade from the Return of the Jedi was 4 different posters, mini posters, 11 different ones, tables and chairs, stickers, birthday cards, small tins. They had it all, even a Darth Vader speakerphone for trade. Husband and wife team. Relationship goals. Steven Sansweet was back with even a bigger ad, this time showing off his collection. And he says one of the largest Star Wars saga collections outside Lucas land. As always, he'll answer your letters promptly. And here's some more people wanting Star Wars items. Ray from New York says he wants a 1977 General Mills C-3PO and R2-D2 photo stick-on, any of the early Star Wars items. And he has for sale or trade many original or rare items. John from New York says he wants a Sears Creature Cantina playset, a remote-control Jawa Sandcrawler, so do I, John, remote-control land speeder, a talking Imperial troop transporter, mini-rigs, and foreign trilogy toys. Mike from Ohio says he has an R2-D2, C-3PO, and a Darth Vader TIE Fighter model kit, along with a TIE Fighter and Land Speeder die-cast vehicle for trade or sell. Daniel from Ohio says he's one of the Phantom's largest collectors, and he would love to hear from you. Thousands of rare and foreign items in his collection. RJ from Ohio is looking for sugarless gum wrappers, poster books, Coca-Cola posters, unopened card boxes, British weeklies, factory posters, and any foreign items. What's so special about this sugarless gum? Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't even remember it, but everybody's looking to trade, sell, or buy it. I have to look into it. These things must be very awesome. I guess they didn't sell too well. Sugarless gum. Who wants that? That's like eating ass-flavored Cheetos. Anyway, that's a look at how people collected Star Wars back before the internet. A lot of these people probably sold off their collection in the 90s. Right now we'll be sitting on a gold mine. I can remember in the 90s looking through the ads in toy shop thinking, I'm not paying $200 for a carded yak face. Now I'd gladly give someone $200 for a carded yak face. There's something about this time period, kind of like the early 90s, before the internet was big, that I really missed. You felt like you were in a small niche group of collectors. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun today, and you meet a lot more people that's into the same things you are thanks to the internet. Maybe it's looking back in rose Tico colored glasses that you just remember the good times. Now, I didn't collect or trade or sell or even know about this newsletter back in the 80s. If I did, I probably would have bought a lot of stuff from the money I made from selling Grit magazine. Because I sure didn't make a dime selling those damn seeds. Anyway, that's a look at collecting before the internet. Let me know in the comments below. Did you collect before the internet? Do you know some of these people? I would like to know what happened to some of these people. What about a Tom Kennedy that ran the whole thing? Is he still alive today? Did he cash in and sitting on millions and millions of dollars today? Well, let me know that and more in the comments below. And as always, please thumb up so I know you like my content and subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.